Okay, so now we have our basic gear and we have the required gear. Now we're going to move on to the next phase, and this I call the level up. This is going to be more customized on your taste and how you want to start to take things as far as your loadout. But these will at least be the items that in this topic that we're going to discuss adding on. First is a sidearm, more specifically a pistol. There's tons of different options as far as brands on the market, anywhere from your 1911s to your Glocks. There's tons of them. So this is just something that's going to be maybe one that you have tried before or a brand that you like. Either way, this is where you get to totally choose. And they usually come with one magazine, so while we're at it, we're going to buy an additional one, maybe two more. With that, we're going to get the pouches for those spare mags. There's a couple different options out there. From there, we're going to need a holster for your pistol. You could get one that fits on your chest rig or your battle belt. You could get one that just goes on your regular belt as like a sidearm style. You could get a drop leg. I will suggest this: when you go to get that holster, try to get something that could be customizable or at least hold more than just that one pistol. So if you get different ones out there, you could make some minor adjustments and be able to use it. So now that we've added a sidearm, we need to be able to put our AEG down in a sense to be able to use it. With that, we're going to add in a sling. You have your single point slings, your 2-point slings, some of them that can convert back and forth. Condor has one like that. It's phenomenal. It's one that I use and highly recommend. As well as adding on the pistol, we're going to want to get a belt. So if you're not using like a battle belt and you're going to have your holster on the side, you're going to need that belt to attach it to your uniform. From here, the next thing I would recommend is what I call a face wrap or a recon wrap. This is going to go from your neck all the way to the top of your head, thus covering your entire head now with some type of cloth. This is for two reasons. One is less skin exposed for BB shots, the less likely you are for some type of injury, and make it a little more pleasant instead of leaving welts or even breaking the skin if you're in very close combat. As well as trying to make yourself blend in with your uniform more, less things that stand out. So also to go along with our recon wrap, we want to focus on a helmet if that is what you were using. In the case here, you'd want to get what's called a helmet cover. This will be, you can get the ones that will be the same color as the uniform you're using. So whether it's Woodland Digital or Multicam, etc. This will help your helmet blend in with you much more effectively. So instead of just being a tan helmet or just a OD green helmet, etc., this can help kind of break that up a little bit. And as long as we're talking about trying to get ourselves more blended in with our uniform and camouflage, the next thing I'll recommend is a hydro tube cover. This is for your water bladder, the tube that's coming around. Putting that on there will allow it to blend in better with your uniform. Obviously nothing is foolproof, but instead of just having a blazing blue or a green or whatever color tube that would be, putting this cover on will allow it to not stand out nearly as much. So next we move on to our radio. Earlier we had bought one that was on the requires list. Now we want to have a way to better secure that to our body to have easier access to it. These will vary depending on what radio you have bought and or what radio you intend to use. Also with the radio, if it has an ability to have a removable antenna, which most of your aftermarket ones do, your Bowfanes absolutely do, you're going to want to get a longer extended antenna. And this is going to give you better range on your radios, both for sending and receiving. Some of these AOs can be a pretty good distance away, and when you're dealing with buildings, it can be very difficult to get those signals out. Next thing I'd recommend is what's called a speed loader. Each one will hold a certain amount of BBs. You've got small ones that almost look like a sidearm mag size that hold like 90. You've got your next big ones that hold like 300. They look like a M4 mag, and they've even got ones that hold way more than that. Some that are a hand crank, and some that are actually battery operated. This will allow you to reload your magazines faster, but this will be something that will make it easier, and when you're at a Milsim event, it's definitely by all means a necessity. Now, an interesting little trick that I've learned to go along with the speed loaders is the BBs themselves. When you're carrying them, if you just leave them in that plastic tin or the plastic bottle that they come in, you will get that shaking noise when you're walking or running, which can in some times give you a position away. What I've done is I've actually taken little like snack bags or little sandwich bags, the small ones, and I put the BBs into there and almost made like a ration of sort, and left them in that until the time comes that I need to use my speed loader, and then I pour them in there and reload my magazines. From there, we're going to start to have some type of snacks. I call them on-field snacks. Again, this is whatever your preference is. It could be trail mix or just peanuts, beef jerky, any of those small, light things that you can have quick, easy access to munch on. Just make sure you police your trash. If you get done, throw it in your pocket or something. Don't just throw it on the ground. From there, weather-related gear. So like a raincoat or a rain suit, something like that. If you're anticipating rain, just make sure you stick with your fractions colors. You could also go with either sweaters or coats, again, matching your uniform. This is going to depend on what time of year and your location that you're going to be playing at. Next from there is a red LED light that can either strobe and or blink. What this is for is when you're in low light situations and you get hit and now you're out. It's to help assist your dead rag, because if it's dark or in a pitch black, let's say, building, it's very hard to see you until a flashlight hits, and you could get shot inadvertently thinking that you're still in play. So at least with the blinking light, that will help warn both enemy players or even your own friendlies that you are now hit. And if it's your own friendly, they can at least easily find you instead of you trying to shout, I'm over here, I'm over there. So it's another. And those are relatively inexpensive, and they're all over Amazon. So they're kind of like the ones you see bicyclists or runners using. Now at this point, you're going to be asking yourself, this is a lot of stuff that I'm going to have on me. I only got so many pockets. This is going to get a little overwhelming. Well, that's why now I'm going to say this is where you're going to want to get a book bag. One, again, that will match up with your uniform. And if you can, get one that will hold your water bladder. So now you can be able to carry your water and all these other extra tidbits that we're talking about. So like your snacks, you name it. You can all put that there and be able to strap it on you. Some Milsims will have what's called forward operating bases that you would be able to leave that at. You could leave it at a respawn too. That's your discretion how you want to do that. As well as if you're in some events, there may be items that you need to grab from a certain point and carry back to another point. And if it's small enough to fit in your bag, you'd throw it in there instead of having to carry it, and now one of your arms are not free. Okay, so there you have it. That's the additional items adding on to your loadout. So just to hit the bullet points, pistol, extra mags, the pouch for those mags, your holster, a sling, a belt, your radio pouch, extended antenna for that radio, a recon wrap, a helmet cover, a hydro tube cover, your speed loader, BBs and separate small snack bag or sandwich bags to put those BBs in, snacks of your choice, rain and or weather related gear, sweaters, jackets, those sort of things, a red blinking LED light for low light or no light situations when you've been hit, and a book bag to carry these things in. That is the addition to your loadout, thus completing the level up.